Hey, my name is Rajesh. I'm a lender based in Los Angeles, specializing in multi-family buildings. But today we're going to talk about something completely different. We're going to talk about four ways to finance vacant land. That means land with nothing on it. And the reason we're going to talk about this is because it ends up being the one real estate asset that most lenders tend to shy away from. And before I get into four ways of financing land, I'm going to talk about why most lenders will not even touch it. The first is comparables. It's very hard to find comparable sales or comps to be able to accurately value a piece of land because let's say you buy a piece of land in Los Angeles, a vacant residential lot. Well, is it entitled? Does it have? Are the permits ready to issue? Does it already have connection to utilities, or is it close to it? How do you value that land? It's basically pretty much what the seller says it is. Uh, and unless you're in a new, and if it's even worse, if you're in a new development area versus a more urbanized and developed area, because in a developed area you can sort of guess, and you know if there are a bunch of houses around, more people are going to want to build a house over there, so it's easy to resell in case I have to foreclose on it as a lender. We're always thinking about the worst case scenario. What if we have to foreclose on the property? And then we don't want to have that on our asset books too long because we want to liberate and liquidate those assets and turn it into cash that we can lend out because that's our primary business. So the issue is resale value. The other issue is you see this little yellow thing over here? For some reason, my computer's been doing this even last night. It wasn't doing it before, but now it seems to be doing it regularly. And quite honestly, it's kind of pissing me off and a little distracting. But anyway, the other issue is purchase price. Some lenders will not work below a certain loan amount, and that's because we want to ensure that we're paid a certain amount in terms of fees. So let's say I'm doing $1 million property, and then the other one is a $70,000 property. The amount of work I have to do is exactly the same. But if I do $1 million property, my payday is much bigger versus a $70,000 loan. If I charge even the minimum fee that I want to get paid, it might still fall in violation of RESPA and Dodd-Frank, the law, the federal law. So because of that, we will not touch certain loan amounts or purchase prices that are below a certain threshold, and often you can find vacant land for $25,000, $50,000, $75,000, and that's on the expensive side. Now, if you're going to Malibu, you're going to Pacific Palisades, then the purchase prices are more expensive than some buildings with houses on them. I can find a vacant lot in Palisades for $1.5 million. I've found vacant lots in Malibu for $12 million. And that's more than fully built mansions in the center of Los Angeles. And so that ends up being a very different type of problem where it's just too expensive for some lenders because they specialize in owner-occupied properties. And the Fannie Mae Freddie Mac guidelines have a loan threshold of 1.1 or $1.08 million in high cost of living areas. So that goes beyond their loan limits, and so they have to go to a jumbo loan. And even when going to a jumbo loan, they want you to build a house on it within the year. They want you to complete building it within 12 months of closing the loan and start construction within 60 days. Well, what if you just want to buy a land and hold on to it until you have the cash to do the build yourself? Or maybe you just want to hold on to it knowing that it'll appreciate and that you plan on building something on it when you retire, maybe 10 years from now, 5 years from now, but you just don't want the time pressure of doing it right now. But you see a good deal, you recognize a good deal. So that's where the four types of financing comes in. The first is seller financing. Instead of going to a bank to get a loan, you get the loan directly from the seller in the form of delayed payment. So you maybe put 20, 25%, 10% down, whatever it is you guys agree to, and then pay the rest over a fixed period of time. So let's say that fixed period of time is 5 years. So now you're making either interest only payments or the full the fully amortized payments over 5 years, but it's amortized over 30 years. And at 5 years, whatever is remaining of the principal loan amount, you either refinance or you get or you sell it, and then you pay off the seller in full. So that's seller financing. Basically, think of it like layaway. The other one is to use collateral. So you can do cross collateralization. So let's say you own a primary residence or a vacation home or a rental property, and you want to buy this piece of vacant land. You can say, hey, this piece of land is $100,000. My rental property is worth $500,000. I'll let you put a lien of $100,000 on my rental property because I only owe $200,000 on it. An additional $100,000. There's still enough equity in the building for you to put $100,000 lien. If I sell it or refinance it, you'll get paid your $100,000. But meanwhile, you can claim both of them. You can foreclose on both properties if I fail to make a payment. And while I'm making payments, we're good. I'm paying down the loan and also reducing the lien on the rental property. So that's cross collateralization. The other way is to get a line of credit from your from a third property. So you might use that rental property, you might use your primary residence, you might use a vacation home, and assuming it has enough equity in there, you get a home equity line of credit or a HELOC. You do a cash out refinance, or you do a HE loan, which is just basically a second mortgage on it, and you take that cash and you buy the land in cash, and then now you have two loans on your on the other property, and you pay that off oftentimes at a lower interest rate. The other way to do it is to get a vacant land loan, and if you go hard money, you're looking at 25 to 35% LTV, which basically means that you have to put between 65 to 75% down and then purchase the land depending on the zoning, the permits, the entitlements, the mapping. So if it's completely raw, the bigger the discount, the bigger the down payment you have to put, and the closer it is to being built on, the less you have to worry about putting down. What I do is a 35% down on purchases and rate and term refis, and then 40% equity or 60% LTV on cash out refis. And the way this works is just like buying a home. Instead of putting with your primary residences, you can put as little down as 3% down on a primary residence if you're a first-time home buyer, as little as 3.5% down if you're not a first-time home buyer. And with this, the minimum you would have to put down is 35% down on a purchase, or 65% LTV, and 60% on a cash out refi, meaning you have to leave 40% equity in the property. So that's one way to do it. Now, the bonus fifth way to do this is to get a business line of credit or a personal line of credit, and I can help facilitate that. Basically, you use that and you actually get all the cash you need to buy the land in cash. That's literally 100% financing. Or if the piece of land is too expensive, you get as much cash from the line of credit to serve as the down payment on the aforementioned vacant piece of land, vacant land financing. So let's say the land costs, I don't know, let's say it costs 2 million, all right? And the maximum that we can give you on our vacant land financing is $1.2 million. So that means you have to get $800,000 in cash to serve as a down payment. Now you can get a business line of credit for $800,000, put it down as down payment, and now you've essentially got 100% financing on that vacant piece of land, because $1.2 million came in the form of secured debt or collateralized debt against the land, and then the other 800,000 came as unsecured business line of credit that you then took and put as a down payment. So now you're not out of pocket, out of personal funds. You're not using personal funds to buy that piece of land. So those are the 5 ways that you can do this. If you would like to explore these options with me, go to the link below and hit me up on my website, lamortgagedude.com. Looking forward to speaking with you. Thank you. Bye.